Thursday, July 16th, and you're watching the Hammer Daily here on the Hammer Betting Network, presented by our good friends over at FanDuel. I'm your host for today, Jason Cooper, alongside my producer for the next hour and a bit, Mike Bennett, working his way behind the boards. And we got a great show for you today. Excited to break it all down here live on air. We got so many coming on in the second half of the show, talking through some CFL. We'll do a little check-in to see what's happening with those totals. See them skyrocketing, tons of points. But maybe we're at the point where defenses are catching up and we're starting to see it trickle down. I'll talk to him about all that and more later today. Plus, get his thoughts on Stevie Y stepping down as GM of the Red Wings. See where things go from here. Before that, we got Adrian coming on, Drunken Goon, breaking down the madness that was the England and Argentina match last night. Here on the channel, we were all England, and oh my God, did we get absolutely crushed. We did not win a single bet yesterday in our contest. So if we want to put up the updated leaderboard here, we got crushed. G-Stock is still in the lead, though. A couple of guys are still in the green. We were sweating on the watch-along. Oh, that was tons of fun. Myself, George, and Mike in that first half. We were sweating Joey Kanish to get that free kick first goal, 40-1. Would have been one heck of a win there, but of course it did not come through. But yeah, back to the match yesterday. Awful, horrible. You have to feel for England fans because just the way that you bow out there is just so embarrassing, so limp, so poor. You break things. You break Argentina. You finally score. You look to be one of the, I felt like it was a little bit of a slow match in the first half. I think there was like 0.08 expected goals total, but England was breaking through. England finally breaks through, scores, and the immediate response from Tuchel is to shell up with, 35 minutes left in the match, 25 minutes left in the match, and just absolutely just bottles it, essentially, for the team. Looking at some of these stats here, it's like England had 13% possession in after the Anthony Gordon goal. There's tons of tweets coming out about visualizations, but where the ball is, where things happen. If you look on the pitch, where stuff is happening, and England just keeps getting pushed back. And not only did Argentina get a tying goal late in the match, but they ended up winning in the 90th minute, like they've seemed to always do. Pretty impressive stuff here. I'm wondering what you like. Getting Argentina live in some of these matches, like in the Egypt match, even late in the Switzerland match. I'm sure this England match, I'm pretty sure you got some crazy prices if you're betting Argentina live to advance or even to win in 90 minutes. The Egypt price was pretty shocking. Now the stage is set, ready to go for the World Cup finals. I'm going to be talking all of that with Adrian, aka the Drunken Goon, here in a couple minutes. Before we do that, though, of course, we want to give a shout out to our good friends over at FanDuel. We're going to talk through the super sub bonus here. I'm just thinking about Argentina and Spain. No real targets here, but haven't looked at the third place match yet. Curious if there's any odds up right now, but because I'd love to attack again the Due Barcola 1-2 punch. Maybe those guys get subbed out for each other. And you're probably thinking to yourself, if you're new here, why would you want to bet both those guys score if you know one of them is going to get subbed out? It's simple. FanDuel Super Sub promotion. When your guy gets subbed out, your bet stays in on the biggest stage in the world. FanDuel's changing the game because sometimes your player gets subbed off and your bet goes with them. Not anymore with FanDuel Super Sub. If your player is subbed out, your bet stays in. That's right. If your player leaves the match, your bet continues on with the substitute. So you're in it until the final whistle because in matches like these, anything can happen. And now your bet can go the distance. Let there be goals this summer on FanDuel. Visit FanDuel.com/forward-progress to get started right now. Must be 21 plus and present in select states. For Kansas in affiliation Kansas Star Casino, or 18 plus and present in DC, Kentucky, or Wyoming. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER, 1-800-MY-RESET. Call 1-888-789-7777. Visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut. Visit mdgamblinghelp.org in Maryland. Hope is here. Visit gamblinghelpmiami.org or call 1-800-327-5050 in Massachusetts. Call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY in New York. Call 1-877-770-7867 in Louisiana. Call 1-866-531-2600 or visit connexontario.ca in Ontario. All right. Let's get the show on the road on this fine Thursday. Let's bring on our first guest here. He's a soccer ball knower. Taking a break from the World Cup to talk some MLS with here in just a second. Adrian, a.k.a. the Drunken Goon. Goon?
Hey, how's it going?
Good. Love it. Spain jersey. We know where your allegiances lie. Never have to question where you're looking at things because you're always got a jersey ready. Do you have a jersey for every single team? Is the Cape Verde jersey ever going to get pulled out? Are you going to get a Cape Verde
limited
jersey?
editions only.
Okay, limited editions only. Got to think you're going to get a Cape Verde jersey soon. Started the show off today talking about Tuchel, the disaster class that was England. I saw like a great clip from someone posted this about Cesc Fabregas talking about how he would defend a 1-0 lead as a manager. He mentioned, I'm not adding on an extra defensive player here. Instead of going to 5 back and forcing my team to shell up, I'm adding a winger to sort of replacing a winger to get some more speed, some more press, some more push, and more pressure. Instead, England does the opposite. Puts on 6 defenders, even though O'Reilly was playing in the midfield, shells up and gets punished for the tactical choices. Talk me through Argentina and England match.
They did the same thing against Mexico. It worked out that game, and they thought it might work out again against Argentina. It didn't. They just didn't. They dropped down too low in their low block. It was like low block, and Argentina has done this time and again. Got to give them credit for being able to apply the pressure and get results. It doesn't always happen, even when teams have a lot of pressure in possession. So credit to them for finishing those chances. England did what they thought was going to work. Clearly, there was some dissent there between the managerial approach and the players, what they wanted to do. We saw that even at the end of the Norway game, when Bellingham was, kind of dismissing what the coach said about their game plan and their performance. So it's if it worked out, he would have been a hero. They would have renamed Big Ben and Dan Burn Big Ben, whatever they wanted to call it, but it didn't. So now they have to play France in the 3rd place game.
Yeah, France in the 3rd place game. We'll talk about the 3rd place game here in just a second. And I will say, at least with the red card, with the Mexico game, they did have the red card. So it's like you can understand a little bit more. You're leading. You're leading by a goal and then end up leading by 2 goals late in that match with the red card. So, okay, I get that defensive shell because you're down a man. But in this match, like you said, didn't work out. No statues being built for Tuchel. No renaming of the Big Ben to the Big Dan. And yeah, England is stuck playing in this 3rd place match. Let's look at things from the other side, though, because we're talking about the collapse from England, and it was a collapse. But Argentina, like what is wrong? What is the? I don't want to say what is the issue with this team, but time and time again, they keep coming out, they keep falling down early in the match, and then coming back and having these heroic comebacks. I was talking to George after our show yesterday, and he mentioned it's like, to give a NFL football reference here, they feel like the 2024 Chiefs, where they're like almost inevitable. It's like no matter what situation they put themselves in, they always find a way to claw a way back and win. Talk me through what's been so key with Argentina, why they've struggled so much early, and why they often concede the first goal. Is that sort of like randomness and luck?
So the defense is vulnerable on the flanks. We've seen Molina struggle, and same thing with Tagliafico when you run at them with speed, which Spain is going to do in the next game. They have trouble dealing with the one-on-one situation, so sometimes they have to get help from the mids or from the central defenders. And they do make good adjustments in game. So when they had problems, they rectify them. And then it's a mentality thing. Having traveled to Argentina last year, I was just so impressed by their never give up attitude, and it's a country trait, I guess. And coming up against England in this game, it was a perfect storm with the Falklands, Malvinas, whatever you're gonna call it. Fresh on their minds, they always look for inspiration and nationalistic goals, and that came in handy when they had to come from behind as a underdog mentality or whatever you want to call it. They never give up, and they just keep plugging.
Yeah, kudos to Messi picking up 2 assists in that one. Kudos to the entire team. Shout out our good friend Enzo Fernandez, friend of the show. We've bet him a couple times to score some goals, and he's come up pretty clutch for us here. Let's flip over and talk. I mean, we'll talk the finals in just a second here, but the 3rd place match, you've often mentioned how the total in this match tends to be a lot higher in other than people expect, and we've seen the total bet up here. Right now, the total including extra time, can't find it here in just a sec, but I believe it's around the minus 150-ish mark, or sorry, total. Yeah, the total including extra time is minus 108 over 3.5, which is crazy. Seen it bet up a ton here. Talk me through this one. Any inkling on who's going to start? Because there's some things still of like we got some stuff live here, right? If Mbappe scores a goal and Messi doesn't, he'll win the Golden Boot. Same goes for Kane and Bellingham. Like there's there's trophies on the line. Do you have any inkling on who might start for each team and what's going to happen here?
That's a big dilemma. I think coaches will give some deaf players opportunities to get some minutes, not necessarily to start, but get into the game as the game progresses. I think the big guns will be out there gunning for the trophy. I expect an open game. The only issue with this one compared to previous third place games is it's in Miami in the heat. 5 o'clock start is better than 3 o'clock, but it's still going to be oppressive heat. And I had to leave right after the game yesterday, and I missed the opener. So by the time I got on it was over 3 minus 125, which I still moved a little more from there. I'm not sure I would recommend the under at any point, but it might be a little too late to jump on the over at this point.
Yeah, maybe a little bit too late to jump on the over. And if you have, again, like I mentioned, good inkling on who you think is going to start, or an inkling on how this game progresses, who's going to be subbed off for who, I think there's a lot of opportunity here with the super sub promotion over at FanDuel applying to this match as well. Yeah. So again, if you have an inkling of things of what might happen, keep an eye out. 2+ goal scorers, things of that nature, anytime goal scorers. Keep an eye out for those because it could be really interesting. Any prediction for this match in particular? I mean, it's going to be tough to predict because we don't even know who's playing. But any prediction for this one?
I think the French will be more interested in sending Deschamps off with a win versus the English and Tuchel, who's kind of like a dead on his feet at this point. I think there will be opportunities to take the over during the game because at this point you don't know what's the lineups are going to be, but once you see the lineups and everything else, there will be chances, maybe team totals or individual players to score or things of that nature. Much more so and more concrete than taking a stab at it now when you don't have any information.
Yeah, for sure. And I wonder if maybe when the lineups get announced, we see like an immediate bet lean towards the under there, immediate market move towards the under, because I mean, we don't know who's going to start. And again, if the wrong players end up starting, maybe people will be more inclined to bet the under. But like you said, things are going to be pretty open in this one. France probably. I hate you saying motivation and talking about teams caring more, but this is absolutely an instance where that does matter, right? Like if you're not going to go to not care, it's a third place match, right? It's for if we saw in previous World Cups, if it was like Croatia or Morocco playing this, it means a lot to them. Whereas like how much does this mean to a country like France or England?
Yeah, maybe not. Like we've seen Mbappe kind of give away his silver medal last time out, and if you don't win it. The whole thing that it doesn't mean much, right? When you're one of the teams that wants to win the trophy. So motivation, it has to come from within the group, and I think the French group is still more united than the English group at this point.
All right, makes perfect sense. Seems like just the three-way money line in 90 minutes here is leaning towards France at the -110 to finish third, -205 for France. Let's flip over and talk Spain versus Argentina here. Spain -150 to lift the trophy. Argentina to lift the cup +130. Break down this match for us here. What has Spain really excelled at, and how is Argentina going to sort of crack their defense that's been so strong this entire tournament?
Okay, so what we can do is we can look position by position, and starting with goaltending, I give the edge to Argentina. Simon has been solid. He's probably going to win Golden Gloves, but he has those mental lapses when he gets out of position and starts chasing balls outside his box. It hasn't hurt him yet, but we saw it against Belgium in the closing minutes, and even yesterday in the first half, Doué had a chance to just lob him and never took the shot. So I'm not concerned about the quality of play from him. There might be some special circumstances occasionally, but Dibu has that extra experience in the big games, so I give the edge to him, especially if it comes down to penalties. He can get into players' heads and mess with them.
Yeah, flipping over, goalie edge there towards Argentina. Spain, though, we've seen. Just talk me through the entire team, though. Entire team.
Sure. Yeah. On defense, Spain's much better. They have the quality on the flanks. Poro and Kukurea get involved offensively. They're intricate passers, and they can take players one on one. We already talked about Molina struggling against speed, so that is a significant edge to Spain. In the center, we've seen Kubarsi just kind of elevate his game every game, and he's been solid. Laporte has held his own. For Argentina, Romero has been outstanding, and he has that ability to pop up on set plays and get you a goal if needed. So edge to Spain, but Argentina can compete there. In midfield, Spain's just so much better. The passing, the ability to shut down that triangle of Rodri, Olmo, and Ruiz, or whoever else is playing there. They have the ability to contain Argentina and dominate possession, and they're also really good at ball possession recovery once the ball gets turned over, and from that they can spring their offense and generate chances. So edge to Spain there, and up top I would give the edge to Argentina just because of the brilliance of Messi. We haven't seen enough from Alvarez and Lautaro, but they are big game players and they can contribute. For Spain, Oyarzabal has been serviceable. Maybe I would like a little more clinical finishing from him, but I can't complain. Yamal has not played to his standards. He's been decent, but it's a big stage, and who knows, he can just have one of those games where he takes over and brings it home for Spain.
Yep, Yamal could take over. We were talking a little bit about this yesterday with the bundle here. The price on Young Player Award still hasn't. I don't believe it's moved much at all since last game. Yamal is still the favorite at -250, but Kubarsi, who feels like he's played the better tournament, should be getting some credit for all these Spanish clean sheets at +170 here. If you had to place a bet on either, would you be looking towards Kubarsi, or is this more so of going to be like a not lifetime achievement award, but like we know Yamal's going to be the better player, right? We know Yamal's going to be better down the line. So we don't want people looking back being like, how did Kubarsi, this great but not exceptional center back, beat out what might be one of the best players in the world at one point?
Yeah, like there's no scenario for me where Kubarsi has one of those games where it just stands out and he gets the award because of this game. But there's a scenario where Yamal does it and he holds it. I have not paid enough attention to individual stats for these guys in regards to this trophy, so I can't really have a play on it. But if anything, I would lean Yamal if you're if you don't mind chewing some high juice.
So a lot of juice there. I'm going to quickly break down a couple other heavy juice bets when it comes to this match. Yesterday we were talking about Simone winning the Golden Glove at like it was -250, -280 at some spots. Right now -750. My goodness. And then for the Golden Ball Award, we kind of talked through this, and as a group, as a chat, we decided like if you like Argentina, you want to get in on Messi. If you like England, pick one of Bellingham or Harry Kane, because that's how either of these teams advances is through those players. Messi ends up helping Argentina get through. Currently -750. Would you click either of these numbers?
Not really. No interest in that kind of chalk, but I don't really see a scenario where he doesn't win it. So if you don't mind that, if you're the guy that clicks 99% on Kalashi,
there you go.
There's less attractive investment, the short-term investment opportunities than that.
Of course. That's a great point there. I just wanted to point those out because I think we were like -500 for both guys should be like an auto click. -500 or less should be an auto click, but now it's out words to -750. Quickly, let's get back to the Spain and Argentina match. Any final predictions for this one here? How do you see this game going? Who ends up lifting the trophy? Talk me through this.
I think Spain's a better team. That doesn't mean much in the tournament because we've seen Argentina get all the breaks. They got another one on the step on Spence there by Messi just before the winning goal that went unnoticed, unverified by VAR. So it seems that they are on a mission to win it from FIFA. But I think Spain is just so much better that they can probably overcome some of that, and I think Spain wins it 2-0.
Spain wins 2-0. And it picks up another clean sheet picked up for Simone in that back line. Maybe Kubarsi gets some love that he finally deserves. Before we head out, let's talk some MLS here quickly. We got 4 matches today, 2 matches tomorrow. It's rivalry week here. Anything you like in terms of bets with the MLS?
So I took a couple of bets already. I took Toronto plus half plus -112 a couple of days ago, and I took LAFC draw no bet -126 against LA. Both have moved, so I'm not sure. Yeah, I would still play Toronto, but it's moving fast. I haven't seen the latest news there. The St. Louis Sporting Kansas City under might be a play. It's 3.5, which is insane, but we've seen KC just ship in goals like crazy. I'm hoping that after a long break they might have had a chance to get organized at the back. I know they signed the Israeli center back just before the World Cup, who's highly rated and might be able to plug some holes in that defense. It's a local derby, like you mentioned, and maybe they can keep it close to the vest and pull it off against the St. Louis.
Any other thing you're looking towards for rivalry week, or is just the under 3.5 goals there in St. Louis and KC, which is -128 at FanDuel, and then the other one you mentioned was TFC plus the half at what was it, -112?
-112, yeah, it's moved since, so probably almost on
Let me
range.
see. It's moved quite a bit here. Anything else you like though?
The Chicago Vancouver total was priced at 3 -120 last night. It's taken some money with Lewandowski in for Chicago. Obviously, he's not going to start, but he's going to get a chance to play. Chicago has been an over machine all season long, so that's something to, if not play before the game, keep an eye on live betting and maybe have a shot
Yep,
at that.
over 3.5 plus 126 is available over on FanDuel. A little bit sad to see that we don't have those two arrows side by side in the anytime goal scorer market or the first goal scorer market. I was really hoping that maybe we would get the super sub promo to transfer over to some club level soccer. We'll have to wait and see. I guess maybe it's coming in the Premier League. Who knows? Gonna have to ask.
I saw FanDuel do some fan surveys on the promos that they run during the World Cup and which one they want to keep going forward, and that was the one I checked the box on. So let's see if it comes
all right,
out.
perfect. I love it. Open up your FanDuel app. Make sure you fill out these surveys because again, this is the best way to get feedback to them. I think it's a unanimous. Obviously, they're our sponsor here, but I think it's unanimous that everybody really likes that. Especially for the casual soccer bettor and the casual soccer.
It's been a fun promo.
It's a great fun promo. A lot to take advantage of. Can't wait to see if that gets us anywhere here. I know we talked about game level MLS stuff, but any sort of league wide stuff you're looking towards with, again, like we talked about a couple weeks ago, massive layoff here, a little bit of a break. How teams are going to be coming back. Do you think we're going to see like a lot of tactical changes? Do you think we're going to see fresher legs? Could there be some rust coming out of this break?
So there's been a lot of manager firings just before the World Cup. So a lot of teams are going in with fresh staff. So that's something to keep an eye on if it affects their style of play and their approach to games. It's wait and see. I think we'll get a few games this weekend, and then we get a full run in midweek next week, and then the weekend. So it's quick fire. That's going to test the depth of a lot of these teams, and you have to kind of read and adjust to what you see. You don't want to overreact also, but at the same time, if a team has made the drastic roster changes, you want to be on top of it early.
Absolutely. I'm going to kind of put you on the spot here. Is there a team that's made a drastic roster change that you think that will most benefit them going forward? Is there a team you're circling saying, hey, I feel like the market might be disrespecting them a little bit because of this coaching change? They're not really quantifying how big of a boost it could be, or in the inverse, is there a coach change you're looking at and being scratch your head like, I don't know if that was the right decision. I don't know if this guy's going to be the right guy to help them out, and you might be fading going forward.
So I'm looking forward to see what LA Galaxy does. They cleared up another designated player spot, so they have 2 open. If they make a move early in the window and bring in 2 new players, that could have a big impact for the rest of the season. If not, they probably just punting into next season because Puig is still injured. So it will be interesting to see what they do.
All right,
that's the one I'm looking for.
All right, keeping an eye out there on LA Galaxy, who are, it's like 27-1. It looks like to win their conference. Seems like they're drawing dead here. In the MLS. Finally, before you head out here, transfers are happening. Transfers are still happening. I don't know how much you pay attention to. I know you pay a lot of attention to club level soccer and the Premier League, but everyone kind of cares about the Premier League here. Is there a team that's sort of impressed you so far this offseason?
Not necessarily impressed, but Tottenham's been making some moves to reset their roster. So we'll see where that gets them. I know they have a new manager in charge, and they're looking to change their style. So that's going to be a fun team to follow through for the summer and once the season starts.
All right, it sounds like George is getting in your ear way too much here with this Tottenham,
A little bit,
and maybe a little bit of a bias towards Dan Burn, the big Dan Burn there over in Newcastle, which I learned that he plays for Newcastle yesterday. So there.
Hey, you're learning.
There we go. That's all we're trying to do and get better and learn. Goon, excited thank you so much for. Oh, go ahead.
For the DGens, I got a couple of plays in Europa League today.
I love it. All right,
so let me just double check the odds. So CSK Sofia to win away to Derry City from Ireland, -125 or thereabouts. It's good to -140 for me. And another one I played was U Cluj +1, -123 against Dynamo Kiev.
So U
Cluj,
University Cluj versus Dynamo Kiev. Okay. Dynamo Kiev, I recognize that team. Is that where Hulk played?
Yeah, so that's the problem with the price right now. There's a lot of name recognition. The first game that ended up 0-0, and being -1 on the road is a recipe for disaster. So I like the home dogs.
All right, home dogs +1 there for Cluj in the Europa League. Adrian Goon, appreciate you joining the show. Before you head out here, any final thoughts on the World Cup so far? It's over. It's done. There's only 2 matches left. One that we really care about. What's been your biggest takeaway of the tournament?
I think it's going to impact the game long term. I don't know if the water breaks are going to translate to league play, but I think they're here to stay for the World Cup. The exposure to the North American market has increased the appetite for big venues, lots of fans. Maybe some of the regular fans have been replaced by the plastic fans, what people are calling them, the influencers and people that can actually afford to go to games. But it's going to change the course of the World Cup going forward, and we might. Although I hate the idea, we might see more World Cups coming to the States in like 2038.
I mean, I don't mind it. I regret not going to a game, so maybe I'll get another opportunity to go on our home soil here. And also weird, you called the water breaks when like people normally just call them commercial breaks, but that's neither here nor there. Adrian, appreciate you joining the show. We'll chat soon. Great stuff there from Goon, as always, giving us everything we need to know about the World Cup and beyond. Spain, Argentina, he's got Spain winning 2-0. He's going to also give out some picks in the future over on our contest. So you're going to want to stick towards, ring that notification bell and keep your eyes peeled on our Twitter accounts, because we've got the contest going. If you're curious for Goon's picks for his official picks for the third place match and the finals, we'll be dropping them here live on the show. A quick reminder for those who didn't hear, he likes Toronto plus the half at around that -112 range. Toronto FC at St. Louis versus KC under 3.5 as well there for the MLS. And then heading over to the Europa League, he's looking to fade Dynamo Kiev. I'm not even going to try and pronounce the other team's name here. U Cluj. Taking U Cluj with the +1. And then CSK Sofia at -125. All right, guys, do us a huge favor. Smash the like button. Goes a long way here on the channel. If you're new to the channel as well, hit that subscribe button. If you're listening in audio form, rate and review 5 stars. If you want to drop a little review there, we'll be reading it out on this show. I know some of you guys do tune in live every day on YouTube, but a reminder, if you're not tuning in live on YouTube, there's some days that, if you're like Connor yesterday and you had to jump on a Teams meeting, you can always listen to us on the way home, whether it be through Spotify or Apple Music or anywhere you find your podcasts. We're there. So go check us out. And if you're going to listen to us there, just drop a review. It takes 5 seconds and it boosts us in the algorithm. Goes a long way for us here. Plus, a couple other things to get to before we bring on our next guest in So Money. I don't know if you guys heard about this, but we've added a second live Circle Back show to the rotation. Every single week, it goes down today, Thursday, 4 p.m. Eastern time. You know where it is, on the Circles Off YouTube channel. Got a good group coming on today. I believe Thon is on today. Isaac is on. And Joey Knish is on. So 2 of 3 incredible guests. One guy who's down 23 units betting on the World Cup. So good thing for the audience. No picks on that show. Reminder, 4 p.m. Eastern time over on the over on the Circles Off YouTube channel. All right. let's get into our next guest here. Our W fan, welcome. Haven't seen you around in a while. Funny that you show up today because we're talking about you in particular. Let's bring on our next guest here. He is a tortured Canucks fan, lover of the CFL and tennis and hockey, but it's a hockey off season. Anyways, so Money, you're in the background, ready to go. How's it going?
Good, Jason. How you doing?
Good. A little sad you're not muted today. Something wrong? Is this like a cry for help when you're not muted?
Took some extra time to make sure that my microphone was working.
Okay. It sounds like you muted there for just a second. That might have been us in the background messing with things, though. Hair looking good, ready to go as always. What are we talking about here, Chat? Can we give So Money some love here? I have no idea what he's talking about with saying his hair doesn't look good. Looks fly. Looks like George Clooney with the salt and pepper in the hair.
There's a part here that's like.
Here we go. This is crazy. Anyways, appreciate you jumping on here today, So Money. Let's talk through a couple things. We're going to talk through either CFL or NHL. What do you want to start with first? You want to start with NHL and Steve Yzerman, or do you want to start with some CFL stuff?
Let's start with CFL.
All right, let's start with the CFL then. You're going to be the guy who gives us the pulse check every week on totals, because with the new rules, like you mentioned, totals have shot up throughout the season. They were too low to start, but now are we going to start seeing those totals, those closing totals, come a little bit down? Where are we at this week? Talk us through this sort of totals update here for the CFL. And quickly, for context, for those who don't know, the CFL changed the rules this year. Faster play clock, among other things. Talk us through where you see these totals going.
So in general, we talked about it in terms of the totals being too low earlier, and then we kind of talked about them being too high the last week or so. However, one thing we need to keep in mind is that there's a couple of teams that are starting backup quarterbacks who are just not very good, right? So we did have a couple of unders last week with those backup quarterbacks, and they came through. But the issue becomes that did those games go under because the totals were too high as it is, or because the quarterback play has decreased now with a Bo Levi out and with Zach Collaros out. Although Drew Brown was fine though, so we do need to keep those things in mind. The BC Edmonton game, I think that total is high. North of 60. Montreal, Calgary, same thing, and those are the teams that don't have any or there's no quarterback issues on those four teams. So those two games stand out as being totals that are a little bit too high, and then of course we have Hamilton and then Ottawa as well. Ottawa shouldn't be playing over games at all.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's talk through and dive right into things then here. Starting with this BC Lions, Edmonton Elks match first. Totals at 60.5, like you mentioned, higher total than if you peek at the rest of the board, those other two matches that are around the 55.5 here. Totals at, spread is at -2.5 towards the Elks, -122. BC coming off of a bye this week. Talk us through this one here.
So these two teams played last time as well in Kelowna, and BC won that game. We were on the Lions there as well. It's tough gauging Edmonton right now because I do think clearly they're better than they were last year, but they have been starting to be priced as a team that should be expected to win. Now they're at home against BC. The 2.5 I think is fair. However, it is a juice 2.5. So if you can get BC +3, I'm more inclined to play BC +3 just because I do think that the Lions should be an elite team. They have elite offensive play, even with missing some guys on offense as well. Defensively, they've really struggled, but I think that they've changed personnel defensively. And one thing, if you've listened to me, I've always said in the past that when you have wholesale changes on a unit on the field, it's going to take some time. So I think that by the end of the year, BC will have I'm not going to say elite, but they'll have a very good defense. and that's kind of where I'm headed towards with them. So I do like BC +3 here.
BC +3 here, +2.5, +100 on FanDuel, or if you want to look at the 3.5 at -136 as well on FanDuel, if you're looking towards some alternate numbers there. We're back in BC and the Lions, and can we call it their fake record at 1-3 with not being able to play like a true home game?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Absolutely.
Let's go ahead.
So not being able to play a true home game, as well as just the personnel changes on defense. So if you're looking at futures, I think that
you're speaking my language.
Yeah, now would be a good time to look at BC Lions futures.
All right. In terms of futures, you mean like everything to win the Grey Cup?
Win the Grey Cup.
Okay, yeah. I don't see any to make or miss playoffs. I guess we probably won't get that till later on in the season here. But yeah, +750 to win the Grey Cup. Our Lions are live, and I'm just cluing in for a second right now. This might be like a hometown bias thing, so we're gonna have to be careful with this one. Nah, okay.
It's funny. I actually grew up a Saskatchewan Roughriders fan for some reason.
Okay.
In the Don Narcisse days.
Okay, all right. So we got to keep an eye out when the Rough Riders do play. Luckily, I don't believe they're playing this week, so no bias is coming in from so many. Let's flip over and talk the next game we have here. And I'm so tempted to say match. My brain is just football coded, but just the wrong football. Alouettes taking on the Stampeders here. Alouettes -1.5, -110 total. Like you mentioned, a little bit of a higher one. And this one is 63.5, -110. Both sides. Talk me through this one here.
Yeah, so this is a little bit of a tricky one because the total is high, but these are two high octane offenses as well. And defense sometimes you question Calgary's defense sometimes, but I do think that it's fair on the total right now. I do need it a little bit higher to go under there. I'm more interested in the composition of the side there because this is a return matchup. Montreal won the last game, and they've been discounted for that return and for Calgary being better than a lot of people expected. But I think that it's already been discounted down to the -1.5 that it should be. So if that climbs a little bit more towards Calgary +3, I'm more inclined to bet that side. But I think right now, if the total gets a little bit higher, I want the under. If the spread goes towards Montreal, then I would like to bet Calgary.
All right, we're gonna wait and see on this one. Do you think that Calgary? Do you think that the Calgary passing defense is a little bit a soft spot for Montreal to expose here?
Absolutely. Yeah, and that's been my concern, right? Because when I say Calgary a little bit weak defensively, it is in the secondary, and I think Montreal can. If Montreal is executing, I think they can eat them alive. So that's why I'm flip-flopping a little bit on the total, because it does depend on if Montreal is able to take advantage of that.
All right, let's go a little bit galaxy brain here for a second. Just bear with me. Most outstanding player market on FanDuel right now. Philpott is 22-1. He is like the sort of engine of the offense there. I see your face. Is this a quarterback only award?
Probably, or the one guy would be Justin Rankin this year.
Okay.
With the Elks, just because he does everything, right? So it's very difficult for a wide receiver to win it. Rankin catches, runs, and he's the engine of that offense. So he's the only non-quarterback that I think has a shot. I think everybody else has to be a QB.
All right, fair enough here. I had to ask, just always curious about the outside the box thinking when it comes to some futures. Let's talk the third game of the week between the Argonauts and the Tiger Cats, the battle of the QEW. I'm not sure if any of our audience even knows what the QEW is. It's a highway in Toronto.
Well, I know what that is.
Yeah, okay. I know that you might know what it was, but I don't know if our audience does. Anyways, let's talk through Hamilton here. Is Jake Dolgala starting again for Hamilton? this week. Talk me through this match with Toronto being
Yeah.
4.5 point favorites to -118.
Totally. So the total here is high. I did bet the under at 56. Probably going to bet a little bit more. I think that Toronto is another team that I've talked about that is flying under the radar right now. And similar to BC, they can't play at home, so they just needed to get through this stretch, and I think that they'll be okay. I mean, look, like 8 of the 9 teams make the playoffs, right? So I mean, if you're getting plus 700, plus 800 on like teams that should be better than what they're performing at, you should be betting those futures, right? So I put Toronto in probably a category just below BC right now in terms of where they're being priced, because they just need to get past this stretch, and I think that they are better than the way that they've been playing and what the record indicates as well.
Yeah. For both Toronto and BC, like for those who don't know, obviously we've had the World Cup games here in Toronto and Vancouver. So not being able to play out of the home stadium over the first couple of weeks, not being able to play true home games is something that's probably been detrimental to them. Outside of just like home field advantage, you got to think like the travel. I don't know if our players staying in Kelowna for BC, like that's just out of your routine, out of your funk. Yeah. It's just different.
Yeah. It's been all over the place, and I think that once these guys are able to get back to their established routines, play more home games, I think both Toronto and BC are going to be very live.
All right, let's talk through the last game we have of the week here. Red Blacks taking on the Blue Bombers. Blue Bombers -4.5 point favorites here. Totals at 15.5, juiced towards the over. Is this the week when the Red Blacks finally pick up a win, or are they drawing dead?
No, not this week. They suck. They don't have any talent on their roster, and they have a head coach who was supposed to be the genius, but he's galaxy brained himself into terrible decisions. His quarterback of choice, Jake Meyer, instead of Drew Brown, probably going to go down as one of the bigger mistakes that we can remember. And Drew Brown is coming to Ottawa with Winnipeg, so I think he's going to light that team up. It wasn't even just a decision that was made, the way it was made, and how contentious it was, in the sense that they didn't give Drew Brown a chance. It was for whatever reason they had their mind made up on Jake Meyer. So I think that I don't usually lay 4 or 4.5 on a team like Winnipeg on the road, but this time I will, just because of how bad Ottawa is.
Yeah, and a little bit of, again, hate the word motivation here, but Jake Meyer was traded, for those who don't know, from the Blue Bombers. From the Red Blacks to the Blue Bombers. They gave up on him. He wanted out.
That was Drew Brown,
Drew Brown. Yeah. Drew Brown traded from Ottawa to Winnipeg so that they could start Jake Meyer. Exactly. Like you said, there may be a little bit of a revenge game angle. He's probably going to light up this Ottawa team, like you mentioned, very much better team in totality here. All right, you gave us some futures. You gave us some bets for the week. Any other final CFL thoughts we should be watching or keeping note on as this week rolls through?
No, that's it.
All right, let's flip over and talk. I'm sure our W fan in the chat has been waiting for this one. We talked a little bit about it yesterday. Stevie Y, the Eyes are playing. It is no more. Steps down as the GM and VP of hockey operations, moves into a senior advisor role. I think that's just for like the meantime to find a new replacement for him. What's next for this Red Wings team that has been stuck in neutral for the last 9 years? Nothing really happening. They still have some talent. Talk me through what's next for this Red Wings team. Where do you think they should go? What direction they should be moving in?
Well, first, they got to take care of this Dylan Larkin situation. It's unfortunate that it got to this point and all of the issues were not addressed or taken care of internally. There's rumors about why Larkin wants out and all that. I mean, we can't be sure. But it is clear that there were issues there with management and your captain. and again, like I've said this so many times, I'm so sensitive with these things, with what I went through with the Canucks last year. Like you need to take care of these things very quickly. As soon as you start getting um, a captain or a leadership player having issues, it does impact the dressing room. On Steve Yzerman, he had a much longer runway than a lot of other GMs would in his situation, with the performance of the Red Wings, and I'm sure it's his his pedigree with the Red Wings and the lore with the Red Wings fan base and organization. So, and of course, he was never going to get fired. It was never going to be positioned as him being fired, even though essentially this is what it was. It was going to be a mutual step down. Um, so, and you have to look at it in the sense too that it's not only the Red Wings not making the playoffs, it's how they've missed the playoffs. Right, the last couple of years you had them collapse basically at the end of the season, and that a lot of times comes down to um, some sort of veteran leadership in that dressing room. And you could have picked up a sixth defenseman, for example, who can take control of a locker room, like a Shen or like a Ian Cole, or like somebody that you're not going to get big minutes from, but who's going to give you what you need in that locker room when things are starting to go sideways. And the Red Wings didn't have that, and that was something that 2 years ago when they collapsed, that was something that should have been addressed when they were starting to collapse this year. So that's all on Steve Yzerman. That you need to not only do you need to take care of your issues in terms of your players before they become bigger issues, and you need to address theoretically simple things. It's not going to cost you that much to get a player like that at the trade deadline to make sure that your locker room's on straight. So he got a long runway, but I think that there was no other way at this point except for him to not have the GM hat anymore.
Yeah, it seems like you said, it was a step down, but like a mutual. All right, we're going to fire you, but we'll give you the grace of having you step down first. And if Dylan Larkin is the piece to go, if this is like the ultimate goal here is let's figure out the Dylan Larkin situation, then move on from there. I'm looking at this roster and I don't really see much else they can kind of work with if they do move off of Dylan Larkin. Like, you have obviously Lucas Raymond and Moritz Seider as great centerpieces, but looking at their supplementary pieces, to Brinkat 1 year left, Andrew Kopp 1 year left, JT Compher 2 years left, Arvidsson 2 years left, Justin Falk 1 year left, John Gibson 1 year left. A lot of guys on 1 year deals. This might be a situation where, like, do they just completely gut this roster and move on from here? Because Lucas Raymond has 2 years of no protection whatsoever, then gets a modified no trade clause in 28-29. Same thing with Moritz Seider. And obviously you don't want to move off of either of these players because they are great players, great centerpieces. But this team is more than 2 years away from building something that has a chance of contending here. Is this just like a major surgery move, strip it all down and build it back up from the bottom?
Absolutely. And I think that, and you can't do it with Yzerman, right? Because he had his chance with the Yzer plan or whatever. Like, you can't go back into an Yzerman 2.0 situation here. Like, you need to clean house, which they did. And now the new guy that comes in, you need to, like you said, there has to be major surgery on this roster with someone who's not already attached to the way that the things were done. So you need someone from the outside coming in, taking the GM position, and you need to basically redo this whole roster.
Yeah, I'm sure other GMs are licking their chops looking at some of these players on the roster in terms of like deadline moves or moves for the future. Like, I'm sure JT Compher will be, I mean, if it gets there, probably relatively decently coveted piece as a centerman, a team that needs like a proper 3C for maybe a cup run. So, Money, any final thoughts before you head out here, whether it be on the NHL or anything else? It's kind of the dead season, not much going on. Any final thoughts here before you head out?
Just the World Cup has been outstanding. Just from a betting perspective as well. We need Spain to finish the job now. We got them plus 800 mid tournament, and we need to take care of. We need them to take care of things now, and then it's going to be. And then we run it back in 4 years. It's just been a great tournament.
Spain plus 800. So money Spain plus 800 versus my 28-1 on Argentina, which I called live during the Egypt game. It's all right. Honestly, I actually don't even want Argentina to win. I'm like, you know what? If Argentina pulls this out, like, I'll click it, and just if they win the tournament, I can at least have something to take from it. Anyway, so money. Appreciate you joining the show. Appreciate you coming on. I'm rooting for you for Spain. I'm probably going to buy off and join you on Spain. But anyways, appreciate you joining the show. We'll chat soon.
All right. Thank you.
Great stuff there from So Money. As we're a little bit quick on the trigger, pulling him off the screen, not even being able to say thank you before he heads out. So Money, we appreciate you. We appreciate you. That's it. That wraps up today's show. You guys know the drill. Do us a huge favor. Smash the like button. Goes a long way here on the channel. If you're new to the channel as well, hit that subscribe button. Again, if you're listening on audio forums, rate and review 5 stars. And that's it. That wraps up today's show. Live 4 p.m. Eastern time on the Circles Off YouTube channel. We got Circle Back with Thon, Isaac, Kanish, and Jacob. Set out to be an absolute banger. You're going to want to tune into that one. All right. Shout out to So Money. Shout out to Goon. Shout out to Mike, keeping everything tight behind the boards. Shout out to all you guys in the chat. Connor, TQ, RW fan, Sherry, new chatter, Sherry Swiss. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. Rudy, all you guys. Appreciate you guys tuning in. And that's it. That wraps up today's show. This has been the Thursday, July 16th edition of the Hammer Daily here on the Hammer Betting Network, presented by our good friends over at FanDuel. We will see you guys right here tomorrow.